Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We're now hours away, just 10 candidates and just one night to make their case. Candidates stuck polling in the single digits like Cory Booker are looking for a much-needed boost.
First of all, I'm the only bald person on that stage.
Kamala Harris tonight is planning to take on the president directly. In the middle of the stage, the frontrunners, former Vice President Joe Biden for the first time facing off with Elizabeth Warren right next to him. On the other side, Bernie Sanders, putting the ideological divide in the Democratic Party front and center.
Yeah, there we go. Boy, this will be mouth-watering. So who do we have tonight? Yang, Castro, Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Cory Booker, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. Let me break it down for you. Joe Biden, leader in the clubhouse, going to do all right. Kamala Harris, I still think she's going to surprise everybody and make a breakthrough sooner rather than later. A lot of money, especially out of California, is going to be thrown at her. Elizabeth Warren, the media's favorite, so she's going to get a ton of love. Pete Buttigieg, you know what? This is one of those, this is a tester fish. You jumped in this thing, but the reality is you're the long-term, right, future. You're not today. Bernie Sanders, you'd like to think you're the long-term view, but you're not. This is your last rodeo. Cory Booker, your Spartacus moment is over. Beto O'Rourke, your 15 minutes of fame is done. Amy Klobuchar, good night now. Julian Castro, hasta. And, of course, Andrew Yang operates outside as a disruptor, but has no chance. What does that mean? Biden, Harris, Warren, those are your top three right there. Bernie will stick around a long time, but he's not going to do it. Not going to do it. They'll argue, they'll fight, they'll talk about guns, they'll talk about this, they'll talk about that. They'll do the things that they do tonight. Will it be a pander fest? Is anybody going to go, hey, maybe we don't need open borders. Hey, maybe we can't give everything away. Hey, maybe, just maybe, we can't tax our way to prosperity. Hey, maybe, just maybe, you might have to pay for your college loans. Hey, maybe, just no, I don't think anybody will. Still Panderfest. Still Panderfest. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. By the way, for those of you not keeping score, they're going to try really, 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 really hard to impeach Trump, but kind of, but not really. But kind of, because they kind of passed a thing today that allows them to start to move into the impeachment world. Okay?
This investigation will allow us to determine whether to recommend articles of impeachment with respect to President Trump.
What this inquiry does, I'll break it down to you, keep it as simple, as stupid, as quick as possible because it can get really boring. It allows them now to have committee meetings, and instead of them being committee meetings, they will be meetings based upon an impeachment inquiry. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It's all about just pushing the envelope a little bit more. It's all about making Trump uncomfortable. It's all about getting your 15 minutes of fame. Hey, Al Green's back.
I rise today to say that there will be an impeachment. The president will be impeached. Some things bear repeating. The president will be impeached.
Did you guys hear that? I don't know if you guys heard that. It bears repeating, he says. The president will be impeached. Case closed. End of story. Period. End of story. Case closed. Closed. End of story. Case closed. End of story. But he is not done. And I'm not quite sure you can do this. We've been looking in the Constitution. I've had my crack team on it. Producer Phil, producer Anthony, crack team on whether or not you can get impeached for this.
I rise to say that the president will...
By the way, he rises a lot.
I rise to say that the president will be impeached in spite of some and because of others. I rise today to say that he will be impeached because the hands of history are piloting his ship of fate. And I believe that history will not allow us to allow the president to be above the law. I believe there is one question that is outstanding, and that is whether the bigotry emanating from the presidency is going to be a part of that impeachment.
Enjoy. It's not going to happen. Unless they find something that nobody else could find. By the way, think about this. If they found something, right? If they found something that nobody else could find in the Mueller report, what's that make Bob Mueller? Just saying. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So yesterday, California did something interesting, and they made it official, but it wouldn't go in effect if Gavin Newsom signs it and stuff. It would not go into effect until 2023. And this is the Fair Pay to Play Act that has to do with college athletes. And this is only for California. This is Jay Billis.
This has been going on for quite some time in California, but that's not it. It's also a movement in the United States Congress. Both Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut and Representative Mark Walker of North Carolina have been pressing this issue for name, image, and likeness rights for college athletes through the U.S. Congress. So,
yeah. And what does that mean? Well, it's simple. If you, a college athlete, right? So you're a college athlete. You're a big star at USC, UCLA, San Diego State, anywhere in California. You're a big star, whether it's basketball or football or soccer, whatever it is. That the school's not going to pay you a penny, but they're not going to be able to stop you from capitalizing on your image, your likeness, right? The rights that you have. You want to go do an autograph signing, you should be allowed to collect money for that. And I think it's a good thing. I got no problems with that. You know, when you look in Europe and you look at the big soccer stars, one of the things that's built into all of their contracts are image rights, because they realize that is as important as anything else. I want to own my own image rights. I don't want you to have my image rights. We can partner with them. And the NCAA is coming hard.
There's a lot of momentum for this. It's a civil rights issue for athletes to have the same economic rights as literally everyone else. So it's just another step forward, and as this train keeps moving down the tracks, it's been interesting that the NCAA's lobbying response, and they spend a ton of money on lobbying.
Yeah, a ton of money on lobbying. Yesterday, they said this would ruin college sports forever, and it's unconstitutional. Is one of the things they said. They're worried because this just isn't a California thing. Now, what they threaten to do is essentially, if California was to go through with this, and again, not till 2023, if they did, they would be barred from NCAA events, right? So they're not playing for the national championship or the Sugar Bowl or any of these things. You know, they're not going to be in March Madness. The problem is I'm an 18-year-old kid playing basketball in Florida or football in Florida, and I'm ranked in the ESPN top 300 as the best dual threat quarterback. And you're offering me a chance to go to Florida State or Texas, and I can play in front of a ton of to be amazing. But, my family didn't have a lot of money, and I'm it. UCLA comes and says, hey, guess what? You can do what you do, and you can make money outside of here. Which, if you go to college today, so I get a scholarship, right? Producer Phil and I get a scholarship together for science. So we do, right? And we go to MIT or anywhere else. We're allowed to profit off of ourselves. We're allowed to work outside of there in the industry, in the fields that we have, and profit and make money. I still got a scholarship. I did, but I'm allowed to earn. They're not saying college pay us. They're just saying, no, my rights are my rights. It's my image. Period. Case closed.
Has been, if you do this, we will strap the players and lash them to the track so that the train runs them over, essentially threatening any lawmakers that whatever they do is going to hurt the players, which I find a little bit distasteful.
Yeah, I do too. So do what you want. But I think it's a good thing. I have zero problems with it. I posted something today, and some people are like, well, they shouldn't do this, or they shouldn't do that, or they shouldn't get this. They're already getting something. How many kids go to school? They get grants. They get all kinds of things for all the stuff we talk about when it comes to college. So many kids are there on grants. So many kids are there on scholarships. It might be a little bit, might be a lot of bit. There's a lot of, they're allowed to work. They're allowed to earn. Why shouldn't these kids be given the same opportunity? I have zero problems with it. And I think the reality is the NCAA doesn't want to give up their money train. They don't. They have these kids captured, if you will, as far as, look, you guys are our ATM. You can't go anywhere. When I was pulling that audio earlier, because I was looking for it late last night and stuff, and I saw the commercial before it was Nick Saban, who's the coach of Alabama. What's he getting? I think he's getting $9 million a year to coach Alabama, right? I mean, that is that's huge. He's the highest paid employee. $7.9 million is his new contract. It'll increase $400,000 each year, plus $800,000 in a contract year. Total this year will be $8.3 million. I got zero problems with it. I think it's a good thing. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. A lot of stuff to get to. We're going to try to cram it all in here today. And lots of stuff that we're going to talk about, too, is looking forward to tonight and what may or may not happen on the debates. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I know it's going to be a pander fest. How much of a pander fest, I could not tell you. Is somebody going to take the mid-level ground? Because Joe Biden is surviving based on the fact that the large majority of Democrats are not progressives and uber liberal. They're union members, middle America types who do support the Second Amendment, who may even go to church, right? But guess what? You know what they don't want? They don't want a lot of what everybody else is feeding them. But Joe's surviving because nobody else is in that lane. If somebody else that had a chance, and the sad thing is most of those people already dropped off because the media is going to give everybody else the attention and the bullhorn. So Joe, through default, may be it. And I don't know if he's got the legs to go the whole way. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, CHADBENSON. Lightstream. Here's something that's interesting. I read today that the average American household has about $11,000 in credit card debt. That's nationwide. Think about that for a second. Is that insane? That's just the average. Some people don't have any. Other people have tons. That's crazy. And you know what they're doing? They're paying mostly interest. Yeah, get off that. Get off that wheel right there. Right now, you can get a credit card consolidation loan from my friends at Lightstream with a rate as low as 5.95% APR with autopay. 19% is the average. So you're going to save thousands of dollars in interest, get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000. What? No fees. There's just no fees. There's no application fees, no origination fees, no transaction fees, no prepayment penalties. You can get your money as early as the same day, and I love it. It's so easy. You can do it right from your phone. Now, what are you waiting for? Jump on this, and my listeners get a special interest rate discount. Go to lightstream.com/Benson. That's LIGHTSTREAM.com/Benson. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.50% autopay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Benson for more information. Chad Benson Show.
I, you, he, she, it. Lucy is a girl.
Point of personal privilege. Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Shut up, boo. Ain't nobody got time for this.
This is the Chad Benson Show.
I always laugh at that. And we were talking yesterday about, is it they? Is that what you're supposed to say now? They? It's not them, it's they. And I'm like, isn't they multiple? Well, I guess you would be multiple, right? Ish? Multiple-ish? Oh, that sounds rude. Oh, you're a jerk, Chad.
Ever heard that women are bad tippers? A new survey by creditcards.com finds otherwise.
Men and millennials are the worst tippers. Women and baby boomers are the best.
But analyst Ted Rossman says there's a catch.
When men and millennials do tip, they actually tend to leave better tips. Men and millennials are inconsistent tippers.
The survey also finds that while most people don't think twice about tipping wait staff and bartenders, they're not as likely to remember to do the same for other employees who rely on tips like, say, hotel housekeepers.
Yeah, and I think part of that is because a lot of times people don't know. And so Jack and I will be doing some stuff this weekend, and I'll leave some money because Jack is a tornado. So, and I'm a very clean, his mom and I were talking about last night. His room just looks like a bomb has gone off. It looks like Beirut in the 80s. And I'm like, and I make him clean up, and I make him do stuff, and I make him have his little area in the hotel because we'll be there for 3 days having fun and doing stuff. And it drives him crazy because he thinks, I can do whatever I want. I'm in the hotel. People will pick it up for me. And I'm like, and I always leave money. And he's like, why? I said, because this is their job. They get, and a lot of people don't even know you can do that. They have no idea that you can tip people like housekeepers and stuff like that. They're oblivious because they think the only people, bartenders, maybe a taxi person, the Uber driver, you tip them, your wait staff. Like I always said, wait staff, so that way I didn't say waitress or waiter because I don't want to, offend anyone. Don't call anybody a stewardess either. They will flip out. They will lose their... 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. I've just got, we're looking forward to tonight's craziness, and I don't know what's going to be, but I've got some fun audio. First from Beto coming up, and then from Marianne Williamson, which is, I think, very telling. I think it's absolutely very telling, and it echoes what another person is saying. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Yeah. We're just talking off the air. Oranges are hit and miss, man. Sometimes you get a great orange. You can get something, you're like, that is delicious. And then other times you're like, is that furry? Because it feels furry. And I just ate an orange that was a little furry for my liking, if you will. Just was kind of, I think that's the face I'm going to make tonight watching the debates. The good news is,
tomorrow night is the third Democratic debate. The top 10 candidates will all be there. They'll be live. We just found out that they will have no 7-second delay. So the DNC warned the candidates to refrain from swearing on the debate stage. Biden better watch his malarkeys and his Jiminy Christmases. Although the swearing rule might be meant for another candidate.
This is up. What the But we do know this is up.
And if you think that's bad, you should see his new campaign slogan, Beto Mother O'Rouke. Bull leadership for a brighter damn future, ass.
That would have been more entertaining and better. Listen to this. He's such a boob. All right. So for those of you who say, you people that are out there who are worried about this, the socialism and the overrun of government, you're just not getting it. They would never do something like that. I want you to listen what Beto O'Rouke said about housing.
Here's a tough thing to talk about, though we must. Rich people are going to have to allow or be forced.
Anytime anybody in the government says, be forced, beware.
To allow lower income people to live near them, which is what we fail to do in this country right now. We force lower income working Americans to drive 1, 2, 3 hours.
First of all, shut up. Secondly, nobody Nobody's forcing you to live somewhere, right? Nobody's forcing you to live in a place. This is what you make. This is the affordability that you have in the area over here. Over here, it's not affordable for you and the income you have. I will tell you this. From door to door, I live an hour outside of work. I could live across the street. I'd be okay. I choose to live somewhere else. Okay? Well, Chad, poor people don't have that. No. There are people out where I live that it's cheaper, right? They wanted bigger property, or for some people, it's an affordability thing, whatever. But when you hear somebody say, we're going to force them, I thought to myself, this is why people are worried. So you're going to force people to what? Take in roommates? You're going to build specific area? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's talking about stuff like that. He is insane. He is an absolute blithering idiot. I thought, you know what? The campaign he ran against Ted Cruz, I don't know what happened to that guy, but this guy is an idiot.
In either direction to get to their jobs, very often minimum wage jobs, so they're working 2 or 3 of them right now.
Which is a lie. So let's people working 2 full-time jobs. 0.2%. I think it was 368,000. These are working aged people who could be in the workforce. People working 2 jobs is less than 5%. Push the narrative. You know, for all the here's the funny thing about Trump. Trump lies about all kinds of stuff. He does. Oh, he's misquoting. He does. And a good portion of it he didn't even have to lie about. Because nobody cares. But he does anyways. It's the biggest crowd in American history. Blah, 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 all that crap. They lie about stuff that matters at times, where you sit there, like all of them are going to tell certain things to make them look good, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. But the narratives they push, well, it's like every working American's working 84 jobs. Oh, did you know that? Yeah, they can't even afford anything. I don't think that's true. I'm looking at the Bureau of Labor Statistics and stop with your facts. Continue, Beto. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make anything you're saying more interesting.
2 or 3 of them right now. What if, as we propose to do, we invested in housing that was closer to where you work? Very often mixed income housing, meaning the very wealthiest are living next to those who are not the very wealthiest in this country.
Let me tell you, and here's something, right? I just want to point this out. People in San Francisco. Here's the thing about well-to-do elites, in particular people who are on the liberal side of the aisle. They love a talk a good game, right? Climate change, let them in, blah, 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 blah. We need to have more kindness, until it gets to their neighborhood, right? Wait, you want to put what? A homeless shelter here? I don't think so. They're disgusting and vile, and they spread disease. Talk a good game. So you're going to build... he's an idiot. He's on stage tonight. John Delaney must be going, how in God's name am I not on stage? I'm not an idiot. I talked some facts. I threw some stuff out. I'm not insane. Tulsi Gabbard, by the way, is saying the same thing. Marianne Williamson, listen to this. So she was on with Eric Bolling. We had him on, I think it was last year, talking about his son's death. But she was on. So Marianne Williamson, who we all enjoy, because she's fun, was on with Eric Bolling. Right side of the aisle. I don't know. I think he's Newsmax now, I think. He was at Fox. But here she is talking about the party that she is trying to win the nomination for, and that side of the aisle, the people that run that party.
What does it say that Fox News is nicer to me than the lefties are?
I'm sorry?
What does it say that the conservatives are nicer to me?
It's a bizarre world, man.
It's such a bizarre world. You know, I'm such a lefty. I mean, I'm a serious lefty. But I understand why people on the right call them godless. I mean, it's like, I didn't think the left was as mean as the right. They are.
Well,
Yeah. She has no chance because she's not part of the group. There's a certain group that you have to be part of. You know this, right? You're at work. Right? So you're at work. You know that the boss that there's a certain inner circle. Now, maybe you're part of that inner circle and you know what? I'm good. Like Bernie was not part of that last time. He has now become a little bit more in the fold. And because of that, they're not going against him. I don't know if they're really helping him. Elizabeth Warren, she is, right? Biden, he is, right? Kamala, yeah. They're part a little bit more of that inner circle. She's not. So she's done and dusted. Most of the money she gets now anyways and stuff, the donations are from the Republicans because it's the vote for the worst. They just want to continue to see her on stage, right? Because she just totally... Andrew Yang isn't part of that either. But the difference is he knows how to bull a Donald Trump in some ways, which is circumnavigate the program itself. But Tulsi Gabbard, she spends more time on Fox because nobody will give her anything on any of the other media sites.
The DNC is trying to basically send a message to the American people that they are the all-powerful gatekeepers and that they are the ones who have the power to decide who should be considered to be our Democratic nominee or not. But the reality is that voters in this country have that power. So that's where I'm focused on reaching out to and connecting with voters. They're the ones that I'm committed to serving.
Yeah. I like her. I do. I like her. And she's right. The DNC, because there's an inner circle here. And it's in everything that's out there. It really, really is. Every work has an inner circle. That's just the way it is. You know that. I know that. We all know that. And the DNC is no different. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Please do. Love hearing from you. So vaping. Okay, here's my thing with vaping. I look at vape like it's the way that it's been pushed out. I don't think they should ban vaping. Look, you shouldn't do it. I still contend that they're going to find out that the stuff that it's going to be doing to people is as bad. That's maybe wrong. Some people say, look, it's still 90% better than smoking cigarettes, which may be true. The marketing that they have done, though, and the hipness factor that they have made it look like, and it's no big deal, is the issue I've had with it. Do I want a prohibition? No. People are grown-ups. They should be allowed to smoke if they want to damn smoke. I got zero problems with that. The way that they've marketed this thing. And the other thing is, you don't know, like, these people that are sick, what have they done? Is it just from vaping? And is that real? Like one of the kids I was reading about, they say he has the lungs of a 70-year-old. He's like 18. And so I look at that and I think, okay, that's interesting. And I do know that, it's the aftermarket accessories, if you will, that some people are putting into these things that make you think, I'm curious. Exactly. But I don't want a prohibition on it because I think as adults, we should be allowed to choose the thing we want to do. It's the marketing side of it. And that I look at. Bubblegum, Skittles, like those are like, Darth Vapor. I was getting a rundown last night from a couple of the millennials on some of the things that you can get and how, cotton candy. You're like,
We've seen a sudden rise in these cases just since this past June, and the question is why. There's been some thought that it's linked to the THC, which is the active ingredient in marijuana, the THC containing vaping cartridges. And then I think in general the problem is, these oils are being heated and then inhaled. So you're basically inhaling a foreign substance into your body. And if you don't know what's in that foreign substance, it can be quite dangerous.
Yeah. You think? Right? Does everybody understand that? That's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. And right, I'm going to say this. I'm going to throw this out there. If you smoke something, there is a good chance, as Dr. Melamed said there, that you don't know what's in it, and it's probably not good for you. I'm just saying, you're bringing something foreign into your lungs is probably not a great thing for you. Throwing it out there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. People are like, so you're for prohibition? I'm not for prohibition. I think the way it's marketed needs to be looked at. Absolutely. I've got a brother who plays hockey. Young. He's 19 years old. Hell of a hockey player. All of his team they all vape. And they do stuff. And since his lungs are a mess, he can't go as hard as he used to. But it's become ridiculous. And the amount of money and hey, I'm trying this flavor and that flavor. It was marketed in a certain way. So let's not pretend that it wasn't. You're an adult. I got zero problems with it. But the fact is, bubble gum, I don't know too many people go, I'd really like bubble gum. I'd like Skittles. 323-538-2423. By the way, I hate Skittles. I just want to let everybody know that. Nothing to do with Skittles. It's not that I did, I just never been a Skittles guy. Just throwing it out there. Hey, Raycon, those are earbuds. They're amazing. Incredible. They really are. So I've got earbuds. I'm going to go out and run around, play soccer, work out. Guess what? I take my earbuds, put them in, rock out to music, I listen to audiobooks, do all kinds of things. Never worry about them falling out. There's no dangling little, wires or earbuds. I used to have one that kind of went from one ear all the way over to the other. It was just a wire. It was Bluetooth enabled, but it was like a chin strap that was loose. And then they had the stems and they just kept falling out. And I'm like, Raycons came in. They work like a charm. These E50s are incredible. Snoop Dogg swear by them. Melissa Etheridge loves them. And they're half the price of all these other premium ones, and they're incredible. They are. The sound quality is amazing. They're discreet. They are changing the game. Get yours today. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. When you do that, you're going to save 15%. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show, 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
We were talking, because Beto's saying something we need to talk about, even though nobody wants to talk about it. We're going to force the rich to allow people who don't have the same money to live in that area to live side by side with them. He goes and we're going to force anytime a politician says we're going to force something, be very wary. It drives me crazy. And so I'm trying to figure out exactly. So what are you going to do exactly? You're going to what? You're going to, how is this working? How are you breaking this down? How are you going to force people to allow people who can't afford to live there to live there? How does that happen exactly? Well, you're going to Section 8? A 4-bedroom and 3-bath condo in Manhattan Beach? Good luck with that. What exactly are you going to do? It's a joke. It's scary. It's totally, it's nuts. And I can't believe. And tonight they're going to be on stage. They're going to be yapping and they're going to be pandering And I doubt you'll hear anything of any substance that the exhausted majority, I continue to say this, 35% of the people on the right and 35% of the people on the left make up 70%. We're the exhausted majority. We don't differ too much on most things. We see eye to eye in several things. Unfortunately, it's the extreme minority that has the bully pulpit. And that should make us all sit back and go, what the blank? Are you kidding me? This is the best we can do? Speaking of the best, they're supposed to be Super Bowl favorites. They can't even get losing right.
The Browns, who have had one winning season in the last 16 years, were losing again Sunday.
They say touchdown, a third interception.
And when the Titans scored on that interception, a Browns fan in the end zone dumped beer on the celebrating defenders. Within 48 hours, the Browns said they'd identified the fan and told him he's banned from future games. But the guy who got that call said he hasn't been to a game in 9 years and said he's a DJ with proof he was doing a wedding at the time. In this case, the Browns aren't admitting defeat, saying only they continue to investigate the beer incident.
Good news for the Browns is they play Monday Night Football, right? That's how far they've come. But the good news besides that is the guy they should be facing as quarterback, the Sam Darnold of the Jets, who's going to be out for several weeks because he's got mono. Good times, kids. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I respect all of them.
No, you don't.
All of them? I respect everyone. Let me tell you, it takes a lot of courage to run for office. I respect all of them. See that? I'm getting to be much better as a politician. You never thought you'd hear that answer?
No, you always lie. Oh, that's funny. I respect all of them. We'll see in an hour if they respect each other. I don't think they will. I want to see how bad they get old Biden there. He is, it's interesting. You know, I feel, I don't know how many articles I've read where they're just destroying him. I watched something on the Hill TV with Crystal Ball and Sager. I forgot his last name. I don't want to screw it up. And it was, they were coming at Biden, you know, because he doesn't understand that he's yesterday's news. He doesn't understand that, you know, how dare you call us woke? And I'm just like, they don't want him. They just don't want him. They don't. None of them that are out there in the media, because Biden isn't good television. That's the reality. Let's be real. If you're the media, do you want him? No. Out of everybody that's left there, Bernie would be fun, but I think the media is kind of afraid, well, what would Bernie do? Like really do if he had a chance? Right? Elizabeth, if you go back and look at her history, now she has come a long way, but she used to be a moderish Democrat. She wasn't as she is now, right? She's kind of moved further and further left. And Kamala would be, you know, but Kamala, Elizabeth, Bernie would be very interesting. Biden, and I think too the other thing, here's the thing: you can be 70 and not be 70. You can be 70 and be 70, and that's a lot of Biden too. There's a little, you know, little like remember when your grandma, when you're older, your great grandmother, they'd have like little like splotches all over him and stuff. And like, I bumped my arm and I don't know where, like the whole arm looked like they were like somebody came and hit him with a baseball bat. I feel like that's Biden, right? Skin's paper thin, struggling. It's going to be interesting.
They all have their weaknesses and their strengths. I think that they're very different. You certainly have a lot of different voices up there, but it would look to me like it would be Elizabeth Warren, and it looks like Joe maybe will be able to get there, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know either because we're a long way away. And how much does Joe want this? That's part of it. And that's something I think people forget. Right? So we're going to watch them all tonight. There is a certain sense of ego. You do not do this unless you have an ego. Nobody goes up there, gosh, oh, shucks, I didn't want it. You know, the last person who was president of the United States who didn't really want the job? Truman. Truman didn't want the job at all. At all. He was the last one. Everybody else wants it. You have to have a bit of an ego. I think his wife Jill wants it more than he does. I think he wanted it, but I don't think he wants it now. I think at one time, obviously he wanted it at one time. And I think he is trying to be like a somebody who's chasing money. They're chasing bad money with good money. Meaning he wanted to be it 2 years ago. His son died. He'd just come out from being vice president of the United States. I don't think he was ready for it. I think there was a lot of things that went into that. And I think he's at the point now where I would love to roll back the years and be up for it, but I just don't think he is. And how much can you hide him? That's the other question. Are they going to hide him tonight? I hope Yang gets some time, don't you? I love the Yang Gang. Back in the Yang Gang. Oh, that's a good parody right there. That's a good parody. You know what else I'm interested in? This will be fun. What's the ratings look like tonight? Because there's an NFL game, albeit not a great NFL game. It's the second week, but you got Cam Newton. He's always interesting. You've got Tampa Bay, right? They got Winston. What's it look like compared to this? I think it would be bigger if it was a few, right? If it was Biden, maybe, Bernie, Kamala, Elizabeth. If it's 4 and they've got 2 minutes to go and to make a case for something, and then you've got another minute for rebuttal, that might be more entertaining. I don't know. It'll be interesting tonight. It will be. Speaking of interesting, Trump got a victory when it comes to immigration.
A major victory for the Trump administration and a major setback for most Central American immigrants seeking asylum in the United States. The Supreme Court allowing the White House to move forward with a policy which denies asylum to anyone who passes through another country on the way to the U.S. The rule essentially forces those fleeing life-threatening violence in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras to first seek asylum in Mexico.
Actually, this is the way it's supposed to work. So if you come from another country, right? So you fly, let's say you escape Afghanistan. You're like, I got to get out of here. This is awful. There's a safe third country, if you will, right? That's what they call it. So what you do is you land in Canada, let's say. And you're like, I want to get to the United States. Sorry, you have to apply here. You've come to a safe area. So if you're trying to escape, if you're leaving Nicaragua for whatever reason, and you're going to go through any one of these countries, or, if you're leaving Honduras or El Salvador, you're eventually, whatever the next country is where you're supposed to go. And that's where you apply. Trump got a victory here. It was 7-2. It was not 5-4. It was 7-2. And if you talk to any legal scholars, you see what anybody says out there, the ACLU is going to fight it. And it's a temporary victory because there's another one winding through. But you do realize that most legal scholars are like, this is one of the things, the president, this is his thing. This is one of his things. Like, I have one job. This is the job I got to do. But we take everything to court. nowadays. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. I love hearing from every single one of you. You know who won't be there tonight? Marianne Williamson. She's not happy about it, neither is Tulsi Gabbard. I find this to be interesting. She was on with Eric Bolling, and he was formerly of Fox, and now I think he's at Newsmax or New. I don't know. There's a lot of somewhere in like the 400s on your cable channel is where he's at, and it's very interesting what she said off the air to him, caught on essentially a hot mic, and she's not back down since this statement.
What does it say that Fox News is nicer to me than the lefties are?
I'm sorry?
What does it say that the conservatives are nicer to me?
It's a bizarre world, ma'am.
It's such a bizarre world. You know, I'm such a lefty. I mean, I'm a serious lefty. But I understand why people on the right call them godless. I mean, it's like, I didn't think the left was as mean as the right.
They are. They're as mean as the right. Guess what? Human beings inherently can be a-holes. And you're not part of here's the thing. And this is what it's funny because a couple of my people I have known have gone into politics and now are, they're serving in the Senate or they're serving in Congress. And as we've talked, it takes a while, right? This is a club. She's not invited to the club. She's not part of the club. Even people inside of quote unquote the club, right? Like you may be the 15th man on the Lakers. So that means you're part of that club, but you're not LeBron James club, right? You're not that. You're not there yet. It takes a while to work your way up. So even people that are up there tonight who, like Cory Booker, who's part of the club, and they like Cory, but Cory's like the 7th or 8th man, right, on a basketball team. He's not in a starting lineup. He's not going to get the same thing that some of these others are. And she's an outsider, so that makes it even more uncomfortable. And she's an outsider in a way where people, here's the thing, Republicans think she's hilarious, so they'll continue to give her money because she just says stuff that's inane. Because they want, it's like the vote for the worst they used to have on American Idol. Republicans who are looking for an alternative and independents like Tulsi Gabbard, but she's outside the club because she is, quite frankly, she's sane and she doesn't pander. And Andrew Yang is a different thing altogether because Andrew Yang's like, I'm not part of the club. I don't want to be part of the club. And by the way, I have my own Yang gang. So why don't you guys step off and I'll get myself up here. Oh, God, if he came out tonight in a Hawaiian shirt, I would be just like, that guy's my president. We need more of that and less of this. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You don't think you'd vote for? You know you would. People out there is like, oh, they're Democrats. I could never. Democrats are evil. And they'd see him in a Hawaiian shirt. They'd be like, yeah, I kind of like that guy. Oh, my Lord. That'd be great. I'd love that. It's not going to happen, but I can guarantee he's not wearing a tie. Did you see him crowd surfing the other day? Playing basketball? I love that. He is the kind of here's where I give kudos to somebody like him and even Bernie. They went on with Rogan, right? And I think that's cool. I like that because it's a very real conversation. You want to learn about Bernie more than you'll ever learn in these sound bites? Watch him with Joe Rogan. He gives him an hour plus. It's real. Right? Even on that, what did he get? He got Bernie to say, look, 99.99% of people who have guns don't do these kind of things. There you go. You find out more there than you will from the sound bites and the minute and a half that you're going to get tonight with these people. But if you came out in a Hawaiian shirt, I'm like, you might have my vote. Here's $1. Hey, Wounded Paw Project. You know how many of you have written me and said, I went, I checked it out, I've given? You have no idea how amazing that makes me feel. Because it is the most incredible organization. What they do, because you listen to the show, I'm an animal lover. I've even got 2 dogs. They're goofy, right? They could never be service dogs. I got Red, who looks like, honest to God, it looks like Trump's hair. And then I've got Doodle, who we're still trying to figure out if, because we rescued him, we think he only speaks Spanish. But we love them. And I couldn't imagine if anything would have happened because we rescued them. They take dogs who are about to be euthanized and take them from shelter dogs to service dogs. And they do that for the men and women who have served our country, our veterans, our first responders, and their family. And it's amazing. Because when those men and women and those families get these animals, they're in need of something. And these animals provide that for them. It is incredible. It really is. But they need your help. Their motto is save a paw to save a life. How do you do that? Take action today. Turn your extra car, truck, RV, even a boat into a vehicle for change. And they also take cash, which is always good because a lot of people are like, Chad, I don't have that, but I do got $20. I do got $100. I could donate. That's great. Do it. Check it out for yourself. See what they're doing. WoundedPawProject.org. WoundedPawProject.org. Go there. See for yourself. They are changing lives. And what happens in the transformation, not only of the veterans, first responders, and their family, but of the animals, and see how their lives change. It is incredible. WoundedPawProject.org. You'll be saving a paw to save a life. Chad Benson Show.
Being antisocial sucks. Hang with Chad's friends on Facebook, The Chad Benson Show. And if you just need some alone time, head on over to Twitter at Chad Benson Show. Either way, we can't wait to meet the real you.
We're less than an hour away. The gloves will come off. Handbags at 5 paces. Houston. Did you see the Greenpeace people underneath the bridge? They're angry about something. I don't even know what they're angry about. Probably climate change, global warming, global climate change. Here's a question. What would you like the climate to be? Like, what is good for you? Like 72, partly cloudy, the big white puffy clouds, maybe a shower here and there? If we could do it for you, if there's something we could do for you, climate-wise, what exactly would that be? I'm just curious. Tulsi Gabbard.
With these debates, with these 30-second answers, 60-second answers, you're not really giving voters the chance to hear, where do we stand on these issues? What motivates us? Why are we doing what we're doing? What experience and credibility do we bring to this job of president and this huge responsibility of serving as commander-in-chief? And so really all it becomes is an opportunity for the hosting media network to get high ratings or make some money off of it. And it just, the whole thing's a charade. And it doesn't serve voters. That's really the biggest problem here.
No, it doesn't. But this is a charade. Town halls are so much better. And that's why I was bummed by Elizabeth Warren, because Fox treated Bernie and everybody that's going on there, well, they're evil and bad. I mean, you can say that about every single organization. My God, the New York Times is supposed to be a reputable paper. And they have made it known from the top down, they're singularly going to try to destroy the president. And yeah, you should point out things if the president does stuff that's wrong. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. But when you make that your thing, oh, God, it's awful. I'm no fan of the way he acts, but if he does something good, I'll praise him. If he does something bad, I'll say it. But I'm not going to come on here and be, just drink the Kool-Aid and tell everybody to. And I'm not going to come on here and damn him. But you've got an organization that says, hey, we're journalists. We're supposed to be neutral and independent. And you're anything but. She's right. That's why I was bummed. You don't want to go on Fox? Well, there you go. And that's the way the DNC is. So you're saying almost in this point in time, yeah, you know what? We're only for this side. Sad. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
There are real storylines right now. What happens with Joe Biden? Does he pitch that perfect game, or does he have stumbles? Elizabeth Warren, does she go after Biden? Does she have to? What happens with Bernie Sanders? And is this make or break for those second and third tier candidates? Because it's turning into a three-way race, but could somebody else emerge?
No. You know who's going to emerge? Whoever the media and the DNC want. Not who the people want, not who the people are interested in. Whoever the DNC and the media push, that's it. That's the end of that story. There you go. There's a hierarchy. Are you in on it? Are you a part of it? There are 4 people that have a shot. 4. That's it. 4 people. Biden. And trust me, I think the DNC and the media would rather see him gone, but because his name is so big, because he's been around a while, because of his cachet of being around and the vice president for 8 years with Barack Obama, he is given a certain leeway that I think if he was, a senator that was, 55, 60 years old and trying to do this for the first time would not have a chance. Elizabeth Warren, who the media loves and who they're pushing, and who the DNC, I think, is doing a Hillary with and giving her and helping her the most. Kamala Harris is at the tail end of those. And Bernie, who, just because of the last time, I think they're giving him a little bit more leeway and a little bit more help, if you will. Everybody else is done. Is done. How some of them are even around is amazing because you need cash.
I don't know how they make the case to their donors. Look, the people up there already are going to be having trouble making payroll and telling their donors that it's worth it to stay in this. They are already, some of them, running on fumes.
Yeah. Like Pete Buttigieg is the future. He's not the present. He is. He is the future that a lot of people look at the Democratic Party. Who's the future of the Democratic Party as far as he's the most natural of everybody on that stage tonight? But I just don't think there's certain things that he just isn't able to do and he's not resonating with, especially African-American voters, right? So it's just not going to happen for him. But everybody else, enjoy it. Hopefully you stick around long enough and you make enough of an impression and some people kind of like you enough that maybe you get something in the administration. Maybe. Klobuchar has no chance. Right? Beto's an idiot. Andrew Yang will stick around long enough because he can play the game outside of the normal BS that the parties do. Right? Trump did that. Trump was not an insider. He wasn't playing their game. But at some point in time, you're like, well, this is what we got. So we got to roll with him. And we think he gives us the best chance. So they got in his train early, when I talked to people inside the Republican Party that were not thrilled by this because he was an outsider. But tonight's going to be much of the same. It's going to be, I'm going to give everybody everything they've ever wanted. I'd like a popsicle. It's yours. Free housing, free tuition, free health care, free cars, free trains, free boats. No airplanes, though, because they fly into buildings and they cause global warming, which we're going to fix. And, that's what you're going to get a lot tonight. I'd love to see somebody stand up and go, I think it's all a bunch of crap and there's things we can do that we need to do. We need to be more kind to each other, but nobody's going to say that. It's going to be the same old same. But we'll see. We'll laugh. I'm going to watch some of the football game while it's on. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Watch a little bit of the football game. Just a smidge. See what happens. Speaking of the football game, Phil, I'm going to say it right here. Maybe I'm early into it. Maybe I'm not. Right? I look at Cam Newton and I say to myself, I don't think he wants to play football anymore. I think he's looking at Andrew Luck going, you know what? I kind of want to do what that guy did.
Could be.
I'm not having fun. I don't need lacerated kidneys, and I don't need my arms not to work anymore, and I don't need. I got enough. I just have a feeling. That's just me. I don't think he likes the game anymore. I think you're seeing a lot of people are like, I don't know if I like this. I'm not having fun with this. I'm just throwing it out there, right? So mark it down, though. On this day, I said it. So if it goes wrong, but if it goes right, and I'm right, ha-ha! I have a 9-year-old. He is in school in California, so he'll be thrilled to learn this.
In school, we want our kids to learn. But what if one child is acting out and disrupting the entire class?
Should be disciplined, yes. They should have something to discipline the kids because some kids are out of control.
Yes, some kids are out of control. My little brothers, in particular, my one little brother, who's got issues. He's defiant, big time. He's adopted. He's my nephew. My mother's adopted him. And he has problems. I love him to death. And he's Jack's like best buddy in the world. But he is very defiant. And the school tries to do all kinds of things to placate him when my mom's like, yeah, but it's not fair to the other kids that he's defiant the way he is. It's not. But now California's saying, no, we're not gonna punish these kids anymore. You willful defiance, don't worry about it.
But under Senate Bill 419, schools would no longer be able to suspend students from kindergarten through 8th grade for refusing to obey a teacher or administrator. It's called willful defiance.
Yeah, willful defiance. So this was already in place in a small, I think it was up to 2nd or 3rd grade, and now they've moved it up. And this is the lady out of Berkeley, shocker, that is sponsoring said bill.
SB 419, purpose is to help our kids stay in school and to graduate. What SB 419 does is eliminates one category, a single category of suspensions, which is called willful defiance.
That's like a lot of things, though, right? It's like saying, all right, we're going to limit one category, breathing. Well, that's a pretty big category because most people, everything goes back to willful defiance. And remember, everything's also about race, right? That's the other thing that they make everything about in a situation like this. Well, disproportionately, it shows that kids are disproportionately the way that they handle these things, according to all these studies. But much like the shooting study, do cops shoot people? No. And then you find out, you go look at the study that was released a couple months ago. No, they don't. They don't disproportionately shoot. They make it seem that way. But if you go to a school that is a majority of African Americans and Latinos and very little cracker kids, if kids are getting disciplined there, that's what they said with the shootings. But that's what they want to get rid of. I'm sorry, Nancy, I didn't mean to stop you from yapping.
And willful defiance is one of those categories that's pretty subjective. This bill only eliminates this subjective category called willful defiance.
Again, subjective leaves it pretty wide open.
Now, the data shows that black, brown, disabled, and LGBTQ kids.
I had no idea that they were also part of this. Right. But did you see that? They got in every single category of identity that you could get into that matters in checking off boxes.
Are disproportionately affected by willful defiance suspensions. SB 419 preserves the right for a teacher to remove the student who might be disruptive from a classroom. It just doesn't allow for a suspension from school.
All right. So it does not allow for a suspension in school. All right. So did you guys get that? No suspension in school does not allow for that. So you're going to get an in-school suspension? You're going to get are you going to go to a different room? Is it fair to other kids? I was awful as a child. Many of you probably think I'm awful now, but I was horrible. But again, let me phrase that, and I think this is There's a difference between, the class clown, a little disruptive, and some kids that are awful, that cause hell and havoc and just take away and do so many things that you just sit there and you're like, wow, that fight, that do all kinds of... There is a difference. I was very disruptive, but not in a bullying, mean, horrible way. I was just a smartass. And I paid the price for it. Here's Sharon Quirk Silva. Oh, she's fun.
We simply need to look at and find new ways to work with students that are having issues.
All right, so we're going to need new ways. All right, Producer Phil, we're going to get some new ways here how to work with kids. Wait till you hear these.
So members, this is the time for us to start to look at ways to work with students that are non-traditional.
Non-traditional students.
Yoga.
Excuse me?
Yoga.
Yoga. So write that down. Yoga.
Meditation.
Meditation. Jimmy, I know you beat the crap out of that kid. I want you to go in the corner, and I want you kumbaya.
Listening to them, letting them write letters, letting them work independently, but keeping them on the school campus and keeping them with the other students.
This is just, shut up. That's just yoga. Yoga. It sounds great. You know what I never hear, though? I can guarantee you that most of these kids who are willfully defiant, who are disruptors, who are all of these things, do you know what they're lacking? Producer Phil, what's the one thing you think most of them, in general, young men, are lacking in the willful defiance world?
A father.
A father! Ding, 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 ding. We'll ignore everything else, though. Good God. I agree with California with the Fair Play Act when it comes to allowing college athletes to profit off their likeness. I disagree with this because I think this is just, again, an absolute turd burglar being just fed to the people. Good God. Get your heads out your butts. Super Beats. Love them. Hold on a second. Here they are. I'm going to go work out a little bit later. Between doing all of my stuff today, I will take 2 of my soft chews, and they're delicious. These things are incredible, and they taste good, right? They got new grapeseed oil. That's their new breakthrough ingredient, and it's from the Rhone Valley in France. So it's extra tasty. But if you know what beets do, let me tell you something. The nitrate's in there, so it promotes healthy blood pressure, right? Gets all that oxygen through your body. All of that stuff gives you great circulation. Boom, natural energy. You can hear it with me. I'm going to take 2 of these. I'm going to go work out. It is incredible. It really is. They taste great, and it's great for people like me who are always on the go and don't have a chance. I don't bring my because I've got the scoop at home, and I'll go do that on the weekends. But when I'm out and about doing stuff, this is it. Now is your chance. Boost your heart health. It's easy for people like us who are always on the go. Get Super Beats soft chews. Get yours now. Go to it's simple and easy. Go to superbeatsradio.com/Chad. That's superbeatsradio.com/Chad, or call 800-875-9341. When you buy 2 of these bags, they're going to throw a 3rd one in for free. When they did the test run of these, they sold out, and it was insane. Try it. You're going to love it. It's incredible. And the energy, boom! superbeatsradio.com/Chad. superbeatsradio.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Boys, give me a bowl of chili with plenty of peppers.
One Mexican heartburn. Why don't you mugs grow up?
The Chad Benson Show, where independent, a la carte thinkers have a seat at the table and a voice in the dialogue.
I'll have what she's having.
This is Chad Benson.
In this woke world, it's so funny because they're just announcing everybody coming to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the 2019 Democratic debate. From North Carolina, 6'6", Michael Jordan. No, she's not there, actually. Oh, they're all coming out. They're all waving. You know what you could do in this wokeness? You could get them to debate this, and it would be hilarious. This is out of the London Zoo. This is one of the keepers at the London Zoo on a show in Great Britain talking about penguins.
What we wanted to do was to take the opportunity to raise the whole conversation with guests who come through to the aquarium, just to raise that exact point, that there is a difference between gender and sex.
We're talking about penguins, right? Oh, yeah. Because they're going to raise one of the penguins gender neutral.
And in terms of the way that we manage the colony at the aquarium, we wouldn't manage them differently based on whether they are females or males. What we wanted to do with this chick was give guests an opportunity to...
First of all, I'm a little bit more woke. I don't think you should call somebody a chick, right? Maybe a babe. Meet
that individual and learn about its personality without assigning it any sort of preconceived sort of gender roles.
It's a penguin. It's a penguin. It's a penguin. But you could get them. This is the thing. Have you ever watched like when talk show hosts will go out to talk to the hipsters that are going to Coachella and they'll make up bands and people's like, I can't wait to see that. This is the thing that you could do. You could go on. You could go on tonight and you could get one of those things where like ABC says, we're going to show the audience. So the audience has a question. You're like, oh my God. You could ask the most insane question about gender or any of these things. You could totally do it, and they will bow to it. They will bow to it. That's it. Let's hear more about said penguin.
Like we would if we were to.
So when you say that it is common for Gen 2 penguin chicks to be genderless, what exactly do you mean by that? Are you saying that there are no kind of sex-specific or gender-specific behaviours?
By the way, what this guy's about to say is very sexist.
In Gen 2 penguin?
It's a really sort of difficult subject to navigate specifically. You will get small differences in terms of behaviour based on whether they are male or female.
I mean, it's not like boy penguins are playing football and girl penguins are doing the knitting.
Oh my God! Fire him! The knitting. They're trying not to laugh too, because they're like trying to. We want to advance the whole thing. Is we want to advance it. We want to advance the question. So when kids come and they're like, Mom, look, it's a penguin. They're thinking, I hope it's being raised genderless. Didn't we have this? Wasn't it called Pat? Wasn't they called Pat? I think that's offensive now. I think whatever her name was, she needs to apologize. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We are moments away from liftoff in the third debate. Will Andrew Yang be my hero and wear a Hawaiian shirt? Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I respect all of them. All of them?
I love all of them? I respect all of them. All of them?
Respect everyone. Let me tell you, it takes a lot of courage to run for office. I respect all of them. See that? I'm getting to be much better as a politician. You never thought you'd hear that answer.
Trump a little while ago. It is off and running. Beto right now speaking Spanish. I was waiting for somebody to come out and just some other like Latin. I would have. This is me, right? If they would have said, "Hey, Chad, you get to be on here tonight," I'm like, "Oh my God, it's gonna be hilarious." So to come out and I would have told somebody, "All right, let's do our first opening remarks in some like Aramaic, some just so far fetched." And there's gonna be somebody who goes, "Ha, I get it. That's funny." So they're off and running tonight. So we'll see how this goes. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think some of it's going to be fun because I think you're going to. My thing is, there's got to be somebody tonight that grabs the sanity bull by the horns and say, you know what, I'm going to live over here. Here I am. This is where I'm going to live, right? Trump today did speak about it. They asked him if he's going to watch. He says the reruns. But you know what? He said something here that's real. They think this about him, that he's easy pickings. Well, the media and a lot of people out there think that it's pretty much they're going to walk to it. But the reality is
they all have their weaknesses and their strengths. I think that they're very different. You certainly have a lot of different voices up there. But it would look to me like it would be Elizabeth Warren, and it looks like Joe maybe will be able to get there, maybe not. I don't know.
So, yeah. And I think Elizabeth is who they want. So it'll be interesting to see what takes place. But we're off and running. And again, it's follow Twitter all night. Follow all the stuff. We're going to be covering it from top to bottom, even once we're done here. But where is the sanity? And I joke about it, and you get the usual snark from the people on the far right that live and they drink, and they're like, hold on a second, Trump told me to drink more Kool-Aid. Right? That happens. But here's the fact. One of them has a chance of being president. And you'd like to see somebody emerge that's like, okay, this person seems sane. This person seems like maybe, just maybe, they might have a chance, and in doing so, it's not going to be somebody who's so far out there whose ideas, if they got what they want, may potentially put us in a situation of a world of hurt. And that's something I continue to remind people on the right. There is a possibility. There's the Yang. Did not wear. Oh, God. First words out of his mouth. Who wants $1,000? Me! I love you, Andrew. But one of them may be president. It is a possibility. Some people, they can't fathom that. Oh, it's never can happen. He said it. Trump even said it. Said it today. It's politics. Anything can happen. He's right. One thing that was great is there is no cussing, right? Because of Beto. Beto's been dropping the F-bomb everywhere.
So, yes, this is up. You know the he's been saying. Members of the press, what the But we do know this is up.
So, there's no 7-second delay tonight, Phil. What's our delay, Phil?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. So there's none of that. There's none of that tonight. So we may get it all. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. The pander. Somebody would be great if somebody came out and go, hey guys, I'm not for open borders, but I'm for a better opportunity for people to come here. Here's something I want to remind everybody on the left and who are for not open borders, but just no borders, right? Like, we don't want open borders, but we don't want to enforce any laws or stop anybody. All right, call it what it is. But somebody to come up and say, look, you know what? We need to have borders. We need to have a real world, right? Because otherwise, what are we? We do need to make it easier for people to come here on a temporary basis to work. And at the same time, let's also recognize that nobody even comes close to allowing as many people into their country legally as us. And also, let's be honest, there is a breaking point at some point in time that we may hit. So let's get our heads out of act and act like normal people. I don't know if that'll happen. Nobody will. So we'll see. But it's going to be very interesting tonight. And a lot of this is going to be, it's in Houston, so you've got Jorge Ramos from Univision there. And he is going to be, a lot of this is going to be about, as they said, Latinx issues. So you will see several people, including Beto and Julian Castro, kind of morph between Spanish and all of this stuff. So, you know, how ugly will it get between, that's what a lot of people want to see. Is Biden going to get attacked by Kamala? Is Biden going to get attacked by Warren? Because Elizabeth has not really been up against anybody. And when she was in the same group last time, it was with Bernie. And they're kind of, it's like watching, God, what was that movie where they have to get stuck on an island, they have to fight each other. Before they end up having to kill each other, they team up to destroy everybody, right? That's kind of the way it is. And we'll see tonight. This is the first time you have them. But I still think the reality is 4 of them have a chance. Pete Buttigieg, I think a lot of people, and the people I talk to in the Democratic world, think he is the future. Kamala is also part of the future, but they think she could be part of the now. Bernie, Biden, and Warren, though, they're in it to win it. And I think Warren's going to get a pass from a lot of things. Ed Rendell, the former governor of Pennsylvania, called her out today in the Washington Post saying, you come after Biden over some of his people that have donated to him, yet a year ago, you were taking big donations from companies and from people who work for certain companies and industries that you're not quite a fan of. And you seem totally fine with that. And then you took $10.4 million out of your Senate reelection campaign as a war chest to run for president. So cool your jets here. Cool your jets. I don't know if they will or not. We'll see. We'll see. Pelosi today, here's the thing about Pelosi, because right now with all of this going on, right? So you've got this going on right here tonight. And Trump says, I'll watch the rerun later. At the same time, you've got all of this stuff going on where today they voted to start an impeachment inquiry. What that means is they're going to start to investigate and have more investigations, more interviews, allow staff members to interview people, and that every committee hearing can now be an impeachment inquiry or an impeachment hearing. It's not we're headed there yet, but it's the first step in the next step, if you will. And that right there, look, Pelosi's not thrilled by it, right? She's over talking about it. You saw that today, and she said something earlier that is so true, because she's trying to tell everybody, let's temper this, because we've been here before. You guys do understand. He will not lose in the Senate. We'll go and do this. We'll make him a sympathetic figure, and then our candidate has to run against a sympathetic figure that has been essentially thrown under the bus by us for political reasons, and now you've given him power.
I travel the entire country. Come with me sometime, and you'll hear what the American people are saying. They understand that impeachment is a very divisive measure. But if we have to go there, we'll have to go there. But we can't go there unless we have the facts. And we will follow the facts, and we will follow the instruction of the president and make our decision when we're ready. That's all I'm going to say about this subject.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen. It's not. There would have to be something so diabolical. It's just not going to happen. Because they're not leaving. The Senate's not going anywhere. She gets that. She understands that. It would have to be something so just out of this world that they would be like, oh my God, it's not happening. And people aren't talking about it. Here I am in Arizona, starting to become a very purple state. Nobody thinks impeachment's a good idea. Nobody does. Even if you have a chance, is the damage that might be done and the fracture in an already divided country worth it when you have a chance to take him out? Now, I think if you gain the Senate and you lost the presidency and you had the House and that, and you really had stuff, then that's one thing. But to do it before? No, because you're going to energize. You will. And people that are sitting there who are on the fence might go, you know what? I've had enough of this. I think no. You guys should have waited till November. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Lots of stuff still to come, including what's going on in beautiful Houston as they debate it out. Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show, where the sensible center hangs out. Hey, you! That doesn't mean you can put your feet up on the table.
You're despicable.
This is Chad Benson.
Here's a perfect example as I watch them debate it out tonight. Here's a perfect example of they're arguing over the usual, this is going to cost $50 trillion to the status quo for healthcare like it is. But with this, it's only going to be $30 trillion. And my thing is, you guys put the status quo in and it's going to cost $50 trillion. Now you want to trust us you want us to trust you with everything? Oh, man. You're insane. You're insane.
First, we have to win. And that means exciting a young, diverse coalition of Americans who are ready for a bold future. That's what Kennedy did. It's what Carter did. It's what Clinton did. It's what Barack Obama did. And it's what I can do in this race.
That right there is Julian Castro. Julian. What kind of Castro is it? Julian Castro. Amy Klobuchar.
If you feel stuck in the middle of the extremes in our politics and you are tired of the noise and the nonsense, you've got a home with me. If you feel stuck in the middle of the extremes in our politics and
Okay. If you feel stuck in the middle. No, because we're the exhausted majority. We are the middle. Maybe a little bit middle right, maybe a little bit middle left. But we're independent in mind. We're independent in thinking. I will never tell you how to vote. But I won't do the extremes. I won't. Sorry. Will not do the extremes. One or the other. Doesn't work. It's all about a power grab. It's all about a bunch of BS. Here's my thing. And people say this about Trump. Let me tell you something about Trump. Look at his actions. Pretty much kind of what? What's his super extreme thing? Taxes was a big Paul Ryan push, right? And he was all for it. The spending I'm not for, but who do you think's going to spend here? Do you think any one of these 10 on the stage are going to spend? Right? His attitude, his tweets, his mouth are pretty extreme. His actions? Hey, I have news for you guys. Joe Biden, who is the centrist supposedly in this, is further left than Hillary. Hillary was mild. She may have been evil and not a good candidate or whatever anybody wants to say, but compared to what's on stage right now, she was a little mild.
A racism and violence that had long been a part of America was welcomed out into the open and directed to my hometown of El Paso, Texas.
Oh, God, Beto O'Rouke is just, he's insufferable, isn't he? He is. Ever since the Vanity Fair, it's all been... Oh, my goodness. We'll see. We'll see. We're just getting started, kids. We got like 12 hours of this. We got 12 hours. We need young, diverse coalition. Now, by diverse, we don't mean different thoughts. We mean different colors. We mean we need some people who are part of the LGBT community. We need some tall people, some short people, some fat people, people who don't identify. Maybe we can get the non-gendered penguin in here. That's a great thing. That should be the Democrats' new. That should be their new thing, right? Right? So you know how, like, you know, you guys understand, you know, they've all got their little mascots, right? So you got the donkey. And instead of that, it's the non-gendered penguin. I was a fan of the Whig Party. Can we bring them back, Phil? I mean, do we still have a... Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good thing. The Whig Party would be awesome. That was an owl, too, by the way. Badass. Badass. The Whig Party. You're wigging out. That was awesome. I just want some normalcy. That's all I want. Andrew, what are you going to do for me?
It's time to trust ourselves more than our politicians. That's why I'm going to do something unprecedented tonight. My campaign will now give a freedom dividend of $1,000 a month for an entire year to 10 American families, someone watching this at home right now.
That's me. I'm going to go to that. I want it, Andrew. I want it. I will sing you praises. Give me $1,000 a month, baby. I'll take it. You know why they all, because apparently they really scoffed at him, Klobuchar and a few other people. You know one of the big reasons they scoff at somebody like Andrew Yang for something like that? And I find it to be interesting, is because if he had it his way, he'd give people $1,000 a month, adults, which would mean they would have to be responsible for themselves, and they may not need the government in the same way. That's kind of funny. No, don't give it away. We want them to depend on us. Wig party, baby. It's coming back. The owl, badass. Put an AR-15 in his hands. Wig. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at us. Follow along on Twitter, Instagram. We're having fun. Every time they promise you something for free, an angel loses their wings. Chad Benson Show.
Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Grab your loved ones, or grab your love partner. And if you're by yourself, no worries. Just follow after me. Yeah. I wanna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down.
Love it.
And get into it.
The hot country song. Blanco Brown is his name. Talks about how Little Nas has paved the way for success. The song is dedicated to his grandma. He's from Butler, Georgia. Yeah, that's right. And brothers get into country music. I love it. It's a modern country sound. I like it.
Do the slip and slide.
You know what's interesting, though? It shows you the power of not only the earwig, you know, that we've talked about before, but the social media of having a twist on something. Remember Chubby Checker? Right? Come on, baby. Like the Monster Mash was actually supposed to be the Monster Twist. But the twist was fading and the mashed potato was big. That's why it became the Monster Mash. If you find something, it may go viral. And this song kind of was doing okay. It was released in April. But boom, it hit TikTok. And then there became the challenge. And away it went. I like it. I like it. I like having fun. I like having fun. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. They will square off tonight in Houston. Who can win? Who can lose? What will it be like on that stage, kids?
All three Democratic frontrunners share a debate stage for the first time.
We're in a battle for the soul of this nation.
Joe Biden is positioned at center stage, flanked by Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren.
You really want to change something, then you better have a plan to get it done.
While most of the candidates have hunkered down, Andrew Yang played basketball.
Well, certainly open challenge for any of the other candidates. If you want to come play basketball with me and the team.
Yang is now closer to center stage than he has been, but still among the Democrats looking for a bounce in the polls. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, Houston.
Thank you, Aaron. There's three real frontrunners, and that's Biden, Bernie, and Elizabeth. I still think Harris has, somebody tweeted, says Harris has no chance. No, she's liked with inside the Democratic Party. She will raise enough money to make herself a player longer than pretty much everybody else up there. And it's interesting for Andrew Yang because, again, he's doing his thing. The Yang gang gets it. He's doing his thing. And I want to see how much time he gets. Because if you've noticed, and this is how you can tell the game is played, when he was on stage the first time, he got like 2 minutes of talk time. And tonight's a 3-hour one. Oh, goodness me. Oh, my God. Goodness me. Could be a long, interesting night for some people. Could you imagine standing there for 3 hours on stage? There's 10 of you. And you maybe say 5 minutes worth of stuff, 7 minutes worth of stuff in those 3 hours, while somebody else next to you is going to say 28 minutes. Because it is about, and this is not Yang's strong point. He's got a natural appeal. He's interesting, right? Some of his stuff that he talks about is interesting. I think he's got a better grip on some of these things from the real world aspect. His problem is he's not, while he's lovable, he's not dynamic, right? You like the guy, but he's not dynamic. He's not going to storm. Like Trump just sucked all the air out the room. He's not going to do that. But he does operate in a way outside of the DC machine, the DNC machine, that I think he'll be able to survive a little bit longer. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. You know, we were joking earlier about this crazy thing that California is doing and how they, the willful defiant kids, and they're going to do different things with them, and they're offering up things like
yoga, meditation, listening to them, letting them write letters, letting them work independently.
Do you know what kids, young boys in particular, because most of this is aimed at young boys. Are there girls that are a pain in the asses? Yeah, right, if we're going to be equal, yeah. But a majority of it is young males that are missing a father. We want to talk about that, make people feel bad. In some cases, missing a mother. Grandmama's raising them. Right? That's the truth. But you know what they need? And you know what they're craving for, which California is not giving them? They want discipline. They need somebody in their life that is going to discipline them. They need somebody, and I'm not talking about violence or I'm talking about somebody that is going to hold them accountable. That's what they're crying out for. And now you've gone the opposite direction. You're holding them accountable in a very half-assed, hey, you want to do yoga? They need that, particularly young boys. But all children need that. Yes, they need to grow. They need to push boundaries, but they also need discipline. They do. They need it. And that's, to me, I'm sorry. I find this to be ridiculous. They need discipline. You have to give them that. You do. You absolutely do. Hold them accountable. Give them discipline. You don't let them destroy other kids' lives and things like that, because there are just some kids that are just, doesn't matter. They may even have both their parents, and they may just be, in a situation where they're not saving and they're just willfully defiant. But in particular, young males, they need discipline. They want somebody to hold them damn accountable. And you're like, do you want to write a letter? Because through that discipline, you're really showing them you care. You give a rat's ass. You don't reason with them, right? This isn't a negotiation. And everybody out there who's got kids, the kids, no. At some point in time, mom and dad, we're dictators. That's it. I'm not here to negotiate with you. I don't negotiate with many hostages and many terrorists and I'm not doing it. You know what I'm doing? I'm laying down the law, and this is what it is. And that's what kids want. And they're going to go in a different direction. Well, there you go then. Have fun. But then you also have to think at the other side of things is, what about the other kids? What about the other kids? It's just a sad, sad situation. That road to hell, paved with good intentions.
A major victory for the Trump administration and a major setback for most Central American immigrants seeking asylum in the United States. The Supreme Court allowing the White House to move forward with a policy which denies asylum to anyone who passes through another country on the way to the U.S. The rule essentially forces those fleeing life-threatening violence in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras to first seek asylum in Mexico.
All right, so what essentially it is the safe third country rule, right? So you want to come to the United States of America, and you're in Nicaragua. You're going to pass through Honduras. In theory, that's your first country that you've come to that's a safe. You're supposed to apply there for asylum. If denied, then look elsewhere, right? Same thing, El Salvador, Guatemala, the next country you come to, that's where you apply. Mexico, you come here, you apply for asylum. It's different because, obviously, this is the country you've come to apply for asylum. But much of through Central America, this is what is happening. We're seeing Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala. It's a victory. And by the way, it was a 7-2 victory. It was not a 5-4 victory. It was a 7-2 victory, and the dissents were Sotomayor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Trump has the right to do this. This is one of those things that the president absolutely has that power to do. Now, the ACLU and everybody else is going to come out and sue, but the reality is in the end, this is going to get up to the court when it finally, because there's other cases working its way. When it finally does get there and the ultimate comes down, it's probably going to be similar. It is. It's probably going to be a similar thing. So it's a win for Trump. It is. And the big win may be the DACA kids. The big win may be immigration reform. Because while Trump, I don't like always the tactics he's using, he's trying to use everything he has in his arsenal, if you will, to try to sort a broken system out that was not only broken, it was ignored. So what that means is, while it's a loss for people who are applying for asylum or trying to come here and do that, the victory long term might be out of this, the Democrats and Republicans are going to force to come to some sort of realization that they're going to have to do something. That they're going to have to do something. Because if Trump continues to use what he has available to him, it's going to force the Democrats to go, all right, we're going to have to figure something out. And if you talk to the DACA kids, they'll tell you, and the young adults, they want the DREAM Act. Right? They want the DREAM Act. They do not want DACA to be reinstated. They want a solidification, because DACA was done in such a way that through the swipe of a pen, it can be undone. So we'll see what happens. But I think there's a chance that this could speed stuff up. We shall see. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. I do love hearing from each and every single one of you. My pillow. I do sleep so much better with my pillow. I got my little travel pillow, and I'll be with Jack this weekend, so we'll be sleeping well. My little My Pillow. I tell everybody, because people always say, do you really use your stuff? Of course I use my stuff. That's silly. You got to see some of the stuff they bring us. I'm like, no, I'm not putting my name to that. My Pillow is great. And by the way, I told them, send me some stuff, send everybody some stuff, and we're gonna try it. And I want to try it for a while. I don't want to I'll send me some stuff and then I'm going to be talking. No, I wanted to try it, and I did. And then the thing I was most surprised, the mattress topper is like the most incredible thing. Because I've had some expensive mattresses. I'm like, I'm not sure this is worth the money. The mattress topper is incredible. Right now, for all my listeners, when you go to mypillow.com, right, and you click on the radio listener special, you can save up to 50% on My Pillows, mattress toppers, bed sheets, everything. And the incredible thing is they've got a body pillow. It's like normally $90. It's $29.99. Again, promo code is Benson. 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty. It is all amazing stuff. Try it. Little changes go a long way in not only sleeping, but also in comfort. And MyPillow's got you covered there. MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special. Type in Benson. That's the code. Or call 800-983-4975 and say code Benson. You're going to save up to 50% on everything, including the body pillow, for only $29.99. Enter code Benson. MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com. Code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Don't let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
In the world of Donald Trump and John Cornyn and Greg Abbott, we are transforming Latino voters, for instance, into solid Democratic constituencies.
Yeah, you are, Tom Perez, head of the DNC. You know why? Because you're promising them everything. You're not transforming anything. You're offering them everything free. They're battling it out on stage right now, and it's a pander fest. Here's the reality of it. You're promising them the world. That's what you're promising. We're going to take away all your worries. We're going to take away everything. And in return of taking away all those worries, and in return then handing you stuff, we're also going to expect that you vote for us. That's the reality of it. It's not idea for idea. It's, hey, would you like a bunch of free stuff? Heck yeah. Vote for me. Huh? Would you like a bunch of free things? Free health care. Oh, that sounds good. How about maybe we get rid of your student loans? Oh, that sounds really good. And the Latino voters, obviously with immigration being a huge issue, you got people like Beto coming out saying, I'm going to give 10 million people overnight the opportunity to become citizens and make them citizens. You're pandering. You're offering free stuff. You're buying a vote. That's what you're doing, Tom Perez. Nothing else. Period. Case closed. End. You're not doing anything else. You're not transforming them. None of that stuff. But you're offering them a utopia that doesn't exist. The African-American community has been absolutely taken advantage of by the Democrats, abandoned by the Republicans, and taken advantage of by the Democrats. Both parties have failed the black community. Both parties. One just said, you guys don't like the message? Whatever. We're not even going to try anymore. And they give up. The other party says, we'll give you guys I know it hasn't worked for 50 years, but we're trying. We're going to try again. And then nothing happens. We'll see you in 4 years when we need your vote. That's the sad thing. And the other sad thing is the pandering right now in the way that they do this. If you're in the African-American community and you're looking around, you go, well, wait a minute here. I feel like we're getting kicked back to the back of the bus again because somebody cooler came along and they figure they got our vote, so they're not even going to try anymore. It's a bunch of crap. It is. I'm telling you. But don't act like, oh, yeah, you got to understand something. We're really changing lives. The things that we're doing, the way that we're transforming people is amazing. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. I love hearing from each and every one of you. What a great show. I've had such fun and watching them argue. It's going to be great. I'll break it down for you, some of it on Monday. I'm off. Going to go see Jack. Remember to keep things in life. There's certain things in life absolutely important. And Jack is one of those things, man. Yeah, and I think we often forget that. We do. We do. We sit here and fight over politics and a bunch of other crazy stuff, but there are certain things out there that are far more important, and one of it's family. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your Thursday and Friday. I'll be back on Monday. God bless y'all. Night, night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.